To understand the true meaning of life and achieve fulfillment, we often seek inspiration from great historical figures like Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, Albert Einstein, and Nelson Mandela. These names represent deep legacies that transcend time and continue to influence the way we think and act. However, while we admire the grand achievements of these figures, we may forget that the true depth of life is not only in their great victories or the fame they accumulated, but in the small everyday actions and internal battles we face each day. These moments of self-awareness and reflection are essential because they allow us to cultivate a genuine connection with ourselves without the need for external recognition. True fulfillment comes from understanding our own emotions, challenges, and personal victories, which often happen far from the spotlight. By dedicating ourselves to these small moments of introspection and self-improvement, we create a solid foundation for our personal growth and development. Now, to continue exploring this deep topic and learn how these concepts can impact your life, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss any valuable content, and join us on this journey of self-awareness and transformation. Let's seek together the deeper meaning of life and learn to live with more purpose and clarity. The concept of life purpose goes far beyond external accomplishments and traditional measures of success. It invites us to live with pure and clear intention, focusing on an internal journey that allows us to act with awareness and truth. The purpose is not just about reaching major milestones or being publicly recognized, but about living in alignment with our deepest values, so that at the end of our journey, we can look back and be proud of our choices and actions. What truly matters then is not what we do, but how and why we do it. Every gesture, no matter how simple it seems, has the potential to be an expression of our search for righteousness, compassion, and authenticity. Let's imagine, for example, how we begin our day. When we wake up, we can choose to carry out our tasks with sincerity, focus, and a spirit of service. If we fully dedicate ourselves to what we do, whether it's work, relationships, or daily activities, we are fulfilling our purpose, regardless of how others perceive us or the visibility these actions may have in the world. Life's purpose is not in external recognition, but in the internal commitment to act with integrity, to do what is right, even when no one is watching. Sometimes it's easy to get lost in the idea that historical figures like Einstein or Mandela lived more meaningful lives because of their grand achievements. However, true fulfillment does not come from comparing ourselves to others or seeking glories that others may recognize. It comes from cultivating good intentions in all our actions and, in doing so, creating a legacy that goes far beyond fame or applause. This legacy is built in the everyday, in how we genuinely touch the lives of others, in how we impact our surroundings through small yet significant daily choices. Therefore, the true purpose of life is to live intentionally, with a pure heart, and to seek to act with wisdom, empathy, and compassion. When we dedicate ourselves to this, we not only cultivate our own peace and satisfaction, but also contribute to the creation of a more just and harmonious world, where good actions resonate in our relationships and communities. True greatness lies in living with purpose, whether in the grandeur of historical deeds or in the quiet of everyday life. The legacy we leave is composed of all the small intentions that transform into great acts, shaping not only our lives but also those of those around us. In seeking self-awareness, as Carl Jung wisely pointed out, we embark on a journey to discover parts of ourselves that we often avoid facing, or even acknowledging. Jung warns us that the genuine understanding of the human being does not come only through consciousness, but also through the unconscious, which is the repository of our shadows, those facets of our personality that we try to hide, repress, or ignore, whether out of shame, fear, or simply because we are not ready to confront them. These shadows, however, have much to teach us. The process of becoming aware of them is liberating, for by bringing them to light, we can transform them, rather than living at their mercy. This Jungian concept directly aligns with the spiritual process of purifying the heart and soul, where, by facing our shadows and weaknesses with sincerity, we can achieve true inner transformation. Purification is no easy task, for it requires courage to look inside ourselves and deal with the parts of our personality that we fear the most. But it is in this genuine confrontation with our limitations that true spiritual evolution begins. The practice of reflecting on our intentions and daily actions, questioning the motivations that drive us, and seeking constant self-improvement is fundamental to our inner growth. The process of inner transformation is one of the pillars of this journey. It is not about superficial change or isolated efforts at specific moments, but rather a continuous movement that occurs within us. True change begins with the small daily choices we make, such as how we deal with our feelings, how we interact with others, and how we react to life's challenges. Every decision we make, every thought we cultivate, contributes to the construction of our being. This process is not immediate. It is a constant path of constructive self-criticism, where we seek not only to correct our mistakes, but to learn from them and improve with each step. This quest for a deeper connection with ourselves requires patience and persistence. As we develop a greater understanding of our essence, we become more aware of our motivations, desires, and limitations. With this awareness, we become more capable of acting in a way that aligns with our highest values, making decisions that bring us closer to our true nature and the deepest purpose of our lives. Thus, true inner transformation is not an isolated event, but a continuous and dynamic process of self-discovery and evolution. Jung talks about the shadow, which can be seen as the parts of ourselves that we reject or avoid confronting. These shadows can be viewed as our flaws and imperfections. By facing our weaknesses with humility, we can purify our soul and grow as human beings. Moreover, it's important to cultivate a pure and balanced heart. When we reflect on true strength, we realize that it is not about bringing others down, but about controlling ourselves in moments of anger and frustration. True strength comes from controlling our negative emotions. Instead of repressing feelings like anger, envy, or fear, we can learn to use them for our personal and spiritual growth. For example, anger, when properly channeled, can transform into motivation to act justly. Envy can inspire us to seek our own excellence, without harmful comparisons. Fear, which often paralyzes us, can be seen as an opportunity to grow in confidence and courage. Jung stated, "Where your fear is, there is your task." Facing fear as part of the human experience teaches us to overcome it with determination and wisdom. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act with confidence, even when fear is present. Often fear is a natural emotion in the face of the difficulties and challenges that life presents. However, true courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. A practical example of this can be seen in everyday situations, such as when we face an important decision or an unexpected challenge. Imagine you have the opportunity to change careers, but the fear of uncertainty and failure paralyzes you. Courage, then, would be your ability to move forward, trusting in your abilities, knowing that even if the journey is difficult, you have the inner strength needed to face adversity and learn from it. This confidence that comes from courage is not something that arises out of nowhere. It builds over time through constant reflection on our weaknesses and limitations. When we stop to observe our own actions and intentions, we identify what needs to be transformed, what is out of balance in our lives. By actively working to purify our intentions, we are not only improving ourselves as individuals, but also becoming more capable of serving others. The true meaning of life is not in achieving great feats or gaining individual recognition, but in being helpful to others and contributing to the well-being of the community around us. Think, for example, of the stories of people who, without seeking fame or wealth, dedicated themselves to causes greater than themselves. In many cultures, we see anonymous figures who, with a simple act of kindness or generosity, transform the lives of others. It is not the great isolated deeds that define life, but the small daily actions, done with an open heart for the collective well-being. The journey of self-awareness and purification is therefore a continuous process. As we face our shadows and fears, we move closer and closer to our true self. There is no end to this process of personal growth. It is ongoing, always challenging us to evolve and act with more kindness and wisdom. True fulfillment does not come from public recognition or external achievements, but from the inner peace we feel when we know we are living according to our deepest values. Finally, the advice is, don't be afraid to look inside yourself and recognize your weaknesses. Only by confronting them will you find the strength to transform them and become a better version of yourself. And by acting with courage and kindness, you can transform your life and the lives of those around you. Now I leave a question for you. What are you doing today to face your fears and get closer to your true purpose? Leave your answer in the comments. Until next time.